Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the heat wave. Just gonna call it the heat wave. It's hot. I fried my head, and I'm getting headshots done today. So it'll be nice. We're gonna do like I'm keep making the calling it snow falling on cedars because my head's gonna peel in the middle of a photo shoot. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So make sure you stay hydrated, stay warm, stay cool. We bought a Dyson. It's very exciting. It actually works. Anyway, this week what happened? So there's a breakout in Kelowna. Let's see. There was a breakout at strip clubs. Apparently, strip clubs are not the best place to go during a pandemic. Weird. And cases are hovering around 20 a day for BC. So we haven't seen phase 4 relaunch, but Josh and Michael will talk about some upcoming changes to open houses and hopefully some relaxation there because open houses are kind of back on and maybe we're starting to pay attention, and we do still need to pay attention. We do still need to, be aware so the restaurants stay open, all this stuff we talked about last week. Hand sanitizer still stinks. I don't know what's going on with that, but it keeps getting worse every time I use it. I do have to say though, when you go to the BC liquor store, it just smells like tequila. So maybe they're just using the cheap stuff. I don't know. So that was hashtag smell my COVID finger. This is hashtag I make COVID look good. So literally coming into the office yesterday, standing outside of the pharmacy, 3 people standing there wearing a mask going, "Oh my God, your mask is so cute. I love that one." We have finally reached that point where masks are now a fashion statement. So that's fantastic. So if you're going to mask up, make sure you are coordinated. Please represent. It's very, very important. I got my wife a plaid one. Go Canada. And for those of you who didn't know, parking restrictions are now being enforced at the POCO office. You can thank Trevor Street for helping that for contributing to the parking company. So yeah, if you're parking at POCO, you've got a 2-hour maximum limit, and there is a dude who walks around and takes a picture of your license plate and makes sure. So street parking is fun. Don't park under the big trees; you will get sap on your car. So just because we didn't have enough going on, we thought that we'd start, but not we that they'd start handing out parking tickets just because, distractions. It's all good. All right. So with all that going on, we thought we'd talk about, I don't know, real estate just for fun. So in case you missed it last week or you forgot, we had a really, 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 really good June. And last week, just to show the numbers are ramping up, we posted 98 new deals, 40 listings sold, 47 deals closed and paid out. And it keeps getting busier and busier and busier. So what that means for you, if you are one of the people who had one of the 98 deals or the 40 listings sold or the 47 deals closed, yay, good job, wahoo. And if you didn't, then you're missing out on a market. So if you're having a slow resurgence from COVID, it's time to ramp it up. It's time to get out there. It's time to reach out to your database. It is time to talk to people. When we look at the stats, this is for last month, from our catch area, so everything from Coquitlam through to Surrey, including Cloverdale, not including Langley. So here are the number of deals that were done last month. So 1,840 real estate agents did at least one transaction last month. Out of those, 1,286 did one deal, or 69%. And the big rock and roller was a 15 dealer, which is probably a new development. So figure out where you are. How many real estate agents in the Lower Mainland? 14,100. Let's round it down to 10,000 active ones. 8,000 active ones. So we are getting an unfair share of the market, which is exactly what we want to do for you guys, because that means you're making money, cashing checks, looking after your family, and not sitting there waiting for a CERB payment. Don't do that. It's bad. Here's where we're sitting from an industry standpoint. So average days on market. This is from January 2020 through to June 2020. Can you believe this has been 6 months? It seems like 6 years, but it's been 6 months. Wow. So we saw a drop in days on market in March down to 29.8. First time we've gone below 30 days in a long time. That's because people were frantic to get their house sold as quickly as possible. So whatever was on the market moved fast, and then it got more realistic. So we're seeing a drop back up to 36 days and then a drop back down to 32.3. So that gives you time to market a product. That's realistic. This is where traditionally our days on market sits, in between 29 and 34. So 32.3 is right in that sweet spot where you've got a chance to actually talk to your clients, get referrals, do all that wonderful marketing stuff from the good old days that you used to do. Average sold to asked. So we got cheap in April. Everybody was negotiating their whatever's off because, hey, It was April. It was COVID. Everybody's desperate, right? Let's go. Let's negotiate. And now we're back up to 98%. So yeah, very realistic. Other than back in the heyday with the bubble, when it was over 100%, 98.19 is very in line with a regular real estate market. I'm going to say that over and over again. A regular real estate market. Get out there and talk to your clients. I'm hearing a little bit of hesitancy from customers and from our agents saying, well, we hear there's going to be another wave that's going to hit in October, so we might wait. In my mind, that should create urgency for you. So if you've got a client who thinks that a wave is going to hit in October, the time to list is now. And if they don't want to meet with you, steal my favorite script, which I steal from Mark King from KWRI, saying, you know what? You think there's a second wave coming? Fantastic. That's exactly why we need to meet. That's exactly why we need to have a listing appointment today. That's exactly why we need to sit down now, right? That's exactly why we need to meet. That's fantastic. And that's exactly why we need to meet. Just practice that over and over again in front of a mirror until you laugh at yourself. Average.
Ron, can I add something to that?
You sure can.
Because that script's great. And also it is true. It's exactly why you need to meet, because no matter when you meet with your seller, you've got to have a very meaningful and informed conversation. And I don't think that there is going to be a more ideal time to have that, regardless of when they choose to list, whether it's now or October, than literally right now. Like, now's the time to plan, because we've got 5 months into COVID, we've got some experience around it. So you can share that experience today and perhaps even foreshadow what might come down in the future should we go into another wave. And so really, truly, now is a good time to meet to, if nothing else, discuss the game plan.
You bet. It's also the answer, what do you think is going to happen in October or down the road? And your answer is, I don't know. I do know what's going to happen and what's happening in the market right now. I do see that the right property at the right price is going into multiple offers. So, and there's inventory to buy as well. So it's a great time to list your house and look for a new opportunity, right? In 6 months from now, 4 months from now, we don't know. The industry might shut down and you might get stuck in your 1-bedroom condo with your 19 kids. Right? So average home prices leveling out. It's pretty cool. We're rate under 800,000 on blended. Obviously, condos are moving, townhouses are moving. Actually, you know what? Everything's moving. Listings were up 133% last month. Everything's moving. Cool. If you are here's the at a regional call this morning, and the battle cry was "Be emotionally compelled." So I'm stealing it. Thank you, David Brousseau. Are you emotionally compelled to tap the gap between where your goal was at the beginning of the year and the last 6 months of the year? So, and we went over the equation last week, but your monthly CGI or GCI goal divided by your average commission tells you how many units you need. The number of units you need times your closing rate of deals. So how good are you at the well, what do you think the market's going to do? Is it going to be 80%? Is it going to be 90%? Is it going to be 100%? Is it going to be 50%? Times that. That'll give you the number of deals you need. The number of deals needed times your closing rate of appointments. How good are you at the deal table? And that tells you how many listing appointments you need. For most agents running through the ALC, it's between 2 and 4 listing appointments a month, which is pretty realistic in the market we're seeing right now. If you want to rock and roll, Gary Keller will tell you need 7 listing appointments a month a week. Wow, 7 listing appointments a week to make $1 million in GCI. So again, taking advantage of the opportunity that's there right now from a sales standpoint, it's a good time to double down. It's a good, if the math tells you need 2 listing appointments a month, why not hit for 1 a week and double it up and see what happens? And then you're hedging your bets too, right? You're banking revenue just in case the crystal ball gets foggy and something goes wild and we all go down to lockdown. I'm sure we're all paying attention to the global situation for COVID. I am morbidly obsessed. I will check the global numbers like 5 times a day. It happens. It's just the way it is. It's my thing. By the way, if you're wondering, we're number 22 as a country on the global standard. So yeah, we're out of the top 20, which in my mind is a great thing. And it's interesting to see the countries that have gone back to regular ways of doing business, and especially we see what's happening in the States. and it just bounces back on you. So there really is some uncertainty on how long this thing is going to last. And I was thinking mask. That's why it's like maybe it's time to actually get the fashion statement and buy some masks and get used to rocking them. I think I said last week that when we were grocery shopping, a month ago, there were maybe 3 or 4 people wearing masks. And last time we went out, day before yesterday, we were one of the only ones not wearing one. And they were looking at us like, for shame. Anyway, so figure it out. You're in charge of your goals. If you want some help with this, give us a call. Give me a call, 778-240-5525. I'll help you walk through this, and we'll figure out how to get you to where you want to go by the end of the year. Love that stuff. All right. Go find the motivated, go find the opportunity. And then, life is just getting way too serious. And, I'm mirroring this entire thing after last week tonight with John Oliver. So, and now this. It'll happen. It'll start. There it is.
And now this.
And now, we promise you, these people are not saying masturbate.
This morning, as COVID cases mount across the country, the mass debate is intensifying.
People are very passionate on both sides of the great mass debate.
The partisan mass debate is heating up.
Mass debate's growing.
The president is trying to have us cover the mass debate.
CVS, Target, and Walgreens are getting in on the mass debate.
The mass debate now taking center stage at local restaurants.
It's 9 minutes after 6 now, and there's new video of a raging mass debate. The mass debate in Georgia is getting ugly.
The great mass debate in West Virginia might soon be coming to an end.
This mass debate is far from over.
How many mass debates have you gotten into? Love to hear it.
The mass debate was taken to a whole nother level.
Bishop David Zubik tells Pittsburgh's Action News 4 he found himself in the middle of a mass debate.
And we'll dive deeper into this pet store mass debate.
So we're going to begin with this thing we're calling the great mass debate.
Yeah, the great mask debate. I mean, come on. You just got to play with that. That sounded weird. Anyway, so rocking the mask debate. Forget I make COVID look good. Let's rock the mask debate. So it just is what it is. And Terry's like, I'm in trouble, and she wants to copy the link at the same time. So yeah, the great mask debate. God bless America. So leading us to our top story. Oh, I just did that like a freaking newscast. All right. The Scott Leroy marketing company, otherwise known as that name that's been on every calendar for the last 3 months, at least a dozen times. Cool. So, Scott Leroy Marketing, the reason why you're seeing it on the calendar so much is because they're really, 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 really good at training you on how to do command and breaking it down into bite-sized chunks. So, although we've run some live sessions on command, we're running that all the way through August. Scott Leroy Marketing really gives us the backup so that you have access 24 hours a day to watch a webinar, join in, ask questions, and learn the things that are going to be critical to your business and the way you are going to do business in the future. We love this freaking program. It is compared to everything else out there, the be all and end all. And I will say, if you're not somebody who's used to managing a database, it'll be a stretch for you, but this will be as easy as possible. So during the month of August, we are running daily lunch and learns. Daily. Awesome. While everybody else is on. And the cool thing is you can actually find a place to take vacation. If you can find a place to take vacation in August, you can dial in from there as long as you got some internet. You're good to go. Because you don't physically need to sit in a room. Here's what we learned this week, though, is you guys all want to sit in a room. So Gina's class yesterday was sold out in about 4 seconds. Sold out. It was free. Our next couple that we've put in, we're going to run them in Surrey and in Poco. But yeah, you really don't need to be in the room for us to walk you through command. It is nice and simple from the transaction standpoint, and I think you're gonna like it. So Scott Leroy Marketing. I just thought we'd officially introduce them after we've had them for a couple of years and let you know what's going on with them. So dial in. The links are there on the Friday update. Bam. And this week I'm gonna go over smart plans tomorrow for anybody who wants to talk to marketing. That's totally aside from what you're gonna do on the transaction side. Kind of cool. Josh just said I'm smooth and nice. Smooth and nice. You forgot good looking. KW Command, DocuSign, couple of basic things. I'm going to give you the to-do list. Here's your, hey, it's freaking hot outside to-do list. So log into www.agent.kw.com. If you're going to attend one of the classes, just a heads up, please have already logged into agent.kw.com and registered for your DocuSign account. It's free. So register and make sure you're ready to go. So when we have a limited amount of time with you in the room, and I mean, it's okay if you're that person who doesn't know where the on button is for your laptop. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. But it'd be nice if you asked somebody before you got into the room. So, you know, just because peer pressure and things like that. But the better you are prepared beyond login, the faster the class is going to go, and the more you're going to learn, and the more hands-on opportunity you're going to have. Okay, that makes sense? Sure it does. So go in, make sure you've created your DocuSign account, create a contact, go in, enter Bob Smith. I don't care. I like it to be a real person. Enter their information. You'll be amazed at how much information you can enter on people. It's fun. Create a contact, import a contact list, download the file, create the contact, create an opportunity, and repeat. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Get comfortable with this process because you're going to be using it a lot, and it's going to be a lot of fun because you can do a lot of business. Therefore, you're going to be creating a lot of opportunities. And if you're worried about, you know, strip clubs and stinky hand sanitizer and heat waves and what's going down in Kelowna and the mask debate, you know, the answer is, you know, if you're worried about strip clubs, stay home and practice command. If you're worried about the heat wave, stay home, turn on a fan, and practice command. Worried about stinky hand sanitizer? Just wash your hands at home before you log in and play with command. And if you don't want to go to Kelowna, great, stay home. And if you're in Kelowna and you're freaked out about going outside because of COVID, log into command. And you don't need a mask to go into command. So, you know, you're good to go. Feel free to wear your mask while you're in command. And I firmly believe that actually the cure for coronavirus may actually be KW command. I think that's the thing. I think that's what's going to happen. Because if we all focus on command and entering in your database, then you're not going to come in contact with anybody other than virtually. There you go. Win-win. Safe. It's all good. All right. For those of you who do want a little bit more and want to ramp up your business to the end of the year, Bold Pivot is returning online in its online format on August 4th. So that'll be a couple of days a week, running for 12 weeks. And I think it's 12 weeks. $99 US. Definitely worth the price of admission. Even if you pull out a couple of nuggets and ramp up your activity, make a few more calls. That's how much. What's your average commission? I know it's $11,664 last month. So you know, you're going to pay $99 for one deal to get you an $11,000 commission. That's a pretty good rate of return. Very interactive, very cool. They're adjusting. If you attended last time, the content will be different. Structure very similar, but content will be different. The other thing that we have coming up is Mega Camp, going digital for the first time ever. And like I said last time, Mega Camp is something that usually you have to pay a lot of money to go to. It's a very interactive experience, a lot of high-end conversation. No updates on family reunion yet, Ken and Jane. We're getting through Mega Camp, see how that goes. And if we're allowed to get together in February next year, then I'm sure we'll be live. Bob's your uncle. Mega Camp, we're going to coordinate. We are going to coordinate some live viewing sessions and make sure that we create that fun around it. From what I've heard, the networking, the virtual networking, and I say I was part of a mastermind with KWRI prior to this for spring masterminds, and it was really, really cool because you're sitting like this on a Zoom call with a small group of people. They're going to break you into mastermind groups, and the information, the sharing back and forth was really awesome. So it works. Anyway, I highly recommend you register. And it's what, $109. Early bird pricing runs for another 3 days. So make sure you buy in and participate at the cheap rate. Otherwise, it's going to go up. And it is limited. I think they're limited to 15,000 people. So pretty cool. All right. And now, Josh. Dun, 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 dun.
Hello.
Sharing now.
Michael, are you on? Yes, you are on there as well too. And Carol, are you there as well too?
He's hunting for the unmute button.
I see that. Yeah.
Morning, Josh.
Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Carol. Thanks. Yeah, you guys stay unmuted if you will, please. We're going to talk a little bit about open houses if we can. Michael, do you have any news or updates around opens that you want to share before we dive right in?
No, just go ahead, dive right in.
Awesome. Carol, I put you on the spot. You had no idea I was going to ask you to unmute.
Yeah, you did. Thanks.
No problem. Don't you worry.
She loves that, though. She loves that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's got it. Really what I'm doing is I'm testing you right now. You're still auditioning.
Alrighty.
I'm totally kidding. So we did an open house. We did an impromptu open house Zoom meeting last week with, I don't know, how many people were on there, Carol?
And there was 11.
Yeah, there's about 11 or so people that were on there and shared. We had some really interesting things to talk about. Before I go too far, I guess I'll say this. As you know, the board has removed their restriction of recommendation for open. So they're saying, go ahead, do your opens, but do them cautiously. Do them with obviously deep informed consent with your sellers. Make sure that you have a version of a protocol checklist in place. There, you know, to my knowledge, there isn't really a true protocol checklist on how to adequately hold an open house for various scenarios. Would you say that's accurate, Carol?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. What we found interesting is that we as realtors have 4 leaders that we go to. We go to the Real Estate Council, we go to BCREA, we also go to the Real Estate Board of Vancouver, and then we're listening closely to WorkSafe BC. So what we did on this open house Zoom meeting last week is we took information and bulletins and updates from all 4 heads and distilled it down to a very condensed version of what are they telling us to do and what would be more applicable for a condo or strata versus a detached home. And that list is now in Carol's hands, and Carol is going to do some magic on that rough draft Word document and create something that the company as a whole can take a look at and follow, edit, add your own logo, customize it, but make it super convenient so that you have something to show to your sellers and to potential people coming through your open house. Was there anything in there that you learned that you thought was interesting, Carol?
I think all the different sources where they're coming from and how we look at it. And I think the interesting thing is that we're doing something about it because we don't want to be caught not, and that we're always prepared for the future. Because as Ron just said, we don't know what the future holds, and we don't want real estate agents to be looking poorly in the eyes of the public.
Yeah, you bet. Right, you know, right. For sure, there's 2 issues at play. And so make no mistake, Council's obviously main issue and BCREA as well as WorkSafe BC's and the boards is to keep ourselves and the public safe. That's issue number 1. But secondary and almost as important as issue number 1 is realtor image. They're really wanting to maintain our image within the public's eyes, and therefore they're stressing, come up with some kind of a protocol. There is no direction around the protocol other than here, distill the information and create your own tents. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And if we don't do it well, they may very well revoke this open season to go ahead and do open houses and put us right back on a recommending to not do them again. So it's important, if you're going to choose to do them safely. What was really cool too, Carol, that Zoom meeting was there were 2 camps in that room. There were some that were pro-open and some that were not necessarily. They were okay. We'll do an open, but we just want to know how to do it safely. And that was also really nice to hear people's points of views around why they wouldn't want to do them.
Absolutely, it was interesting. So we can combine that, like we were talking about. You know, if you don't want to do it, we'll look at putting things in a Schedule A, so the clients will sign off on it and say, I do or don't want that. And if they do, that it would be COVID compliant.
COVID compliant, you know, for sure. And you know what I love about what we're doing here as well, just as a company and as a group of individuals, we're creating a standard for ourselves that I don't think actually exists in the industry yet. Not on a condensed form for sure. But if we do have agents in the office that are like, man, there's no chance I'm doing it. I don't like the idea that opens are happening. It would be hard for them to really get upset with agents that choose to do them if they're following the protocols that we're creating. But at least you're doing your absolute best. And you know, at the end of the day, we're following lawful instructions from sellers if they're the ones that are asking us to do these opens. There's nothing unlawful by a seller's request to do it. And of course, ultimately you have to decide, well, if I don't do it, what's that impact to my business? So there's so many different variables on this that it's best to have a plan than not. The other thing,
Josh, in your conversation, was there feedback from what your clients are saying? Like, are they wanting opens? Are they, because it does give you a different opportunity to look after your clients' needs as well, right? It's so if you want to do a traditional open house, fantastic. If not, fantastic. Here's our option for that. Did that come up?
I'll tell you, with the listings that I've taken, the 5 I've taken in the last week and a bit, none of them, they're adamantly opposed to doing opens. So they're just simply not. They don't care what my protocol looks like.
Right.
That lacks relevance, and so that's actually wonderful for me. Because I can't get around anyways. But truth be told, I'm finding perhaps that there's more that are not. But that isn't always the case. I mean, you look around, there are plenty of opens taking place. I just don't. I also know that there's opens that are taking place that they're not being well attended as well. And then there's some where you're getting 50 to 60 people coming through an open, and it's crazy.
Hey Josh, is Handy Dirt not open?
Pardon?
Is Handy Dirt not open?
I don't know. Oh, thanks. I don't know. You got me.
It's sunny. We can just put you in the back of your pickup truck and drive you around for fun, like a parade.
If I get this cast off tomorrow, I'll start walking if I have to. There was another thing that came out of this, and I want to, Terry, you put yourself back on mute.
I was gonna say, good one, Michael.
Yeah. By the way, you look beautiful, Terry.
Ron and I are getting headshots, so I'm trying to get ready.
Yes, I know.
I haven't done my hair and makeup yet.
I have your wig. I have your wig.
Carol, I want to give a shout out to Krista Lapp, a realtor in our office, rock star. She shared some of her protocols around what she's doing for opens, because she has been requested by sellers to do them. And she actually has a tab on her website called COVID-19. It's a COVID-19 tab. So if you want to know where she stands about how she's protecting her clients and the public, she's making it known. And I think that's an incredible marketing strategy. I think it's beautiful. So check out Krista Lapp's website and that particular tab. I think it's important for you to see how it looks. It's very professional. I encourage everyone to get on board with that concept. And, Carol, with what you're going to be putting together, and we share it with the agents, you guys now will have a working template that you can play with to add to your website for that particular tab. I'm proud. You can see I'm proud of this. This is really a good thing for this company.
I think it's brilliant. It really is leading the industry and setting the pace for others to follow, and that they'll hopefully R&D, like everybody's going to R&D Krista Lapp's COVID tab.
100%.
Rip off and duplicate. Rip off and duplicate.
That's what it is. Okay.
I think, like Josh said earlier, public perception is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
I mean, how we look when we're out there doing these opens, it's what the public perceives. And I think, as Josh mentioned earlier, if we're not doing it right, they'll be quick to hammer us down too. So,
to that point, Michael, thank you for saying that. One thing, Carol, we'll need to do, we'll work on this, is that what do we do as agents if, for whatever reason, your crowd gets out of control in an open house and you weren't prepared for it? Because you may need to be prepared to shut the open house down. We really discussed that, but we should.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll be outlined really simple, like I was saying, because we don't want it to be complex, but we want to have all the information required in case of, and what you should. And it might be something that they continue to look at in the future to control open houses. So you're not having potential, overcrowding anyways, or thefts, or etc.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't price your property $200,000 below assessed?
Well, it's a strategy, I suppose, and it does attract attention. One of the things we'll do with that protocol checklist is I'll send it, because I do have a contact at WorkSafe BC, BCREA, and Council, and I'll send it off to them, not necessarily for a blessing, but to make them aware that Keller Williams Elite Realty and their agents have a protocol and they're following it. And we'll certainly let them know that they were our number one source. So I think that's also a good thing for our company as well.
Be a good idea for us to do a video series on it too. A couple of interviews.
Totally agreed. Yeah, love it.
Cool.
I don't have anything
Thank
else.
You for doing it.
You're welcome. I don't have anything else to add to open houses, but if I can do a coming soon, a preview of something coming soon.
Yeah.
if that's all right. So Sonny Brar and I are working on doing another Zoom meeting, much like what we just did with the open house. And we're writing the content right now. We're just reviewing our research and on property disclosure statements. And because I now, it's funny enough, I love this idea. And I just found out 2 days ago that BCREA has an online $60 course on property disclosure statements, which I completed this morning. And I have to tell you, it is fantastic. It is absolutely, literally mind-blowing how much information there is about a PDS. I may have had surface knowledge about, but I have much deeper knowledge around this PDS and how to explain it. And through BCREA, I signed up for the course, but we're still going to go ahead and roll out our course on the property disclosure statement as a overview highlight and have more of a mastermind discussion about case scenarios that I think will be really healthy for us as agents to be involved in and open up in conversation. But boy, oh boy, did I learn a lot about patent defects, latent defects, material latent defects, and stigmas. Those are the 4 overarching issues you're dealing with on a PDS. Stop it, Terry.
Stigma. She has a stigma around that.
Yeah. That's all I've got, Ron. Michael, if you have anything to add, by all means, jump in. And Carol, if you have anything you'd like to add as well, too, please jump in.
Well, the couple of points. 3 things you need to do within 24 hours of a new listing once it goes live. Just a reminder, copy of the title search posted, copy of the registered strata plan, and a minimum of 1 photo. Those are the requirements that are in place now. I guess a couple other things I've been dealing with throughout the week. Manufactured homes, I think we've talked about them before. In regards to CSA, electrical approval. If they've done permits, they've done additions or alterations without permits, they're going to need a new inspection and a new certification in order to get listed. You also, I guess historically, everyone relied upon the old previous listing for the CSA number and the MHR number for the mobile home registry number. Yeah, Josh is shaking his head, but that is true. A lot of realtors were just relying on old listing information, right? So you need to confirm that information, and you may be jumping through some hoops if the MHR number was on the aluminum exterior siding and subsequently they vinyl sided. There could be some issues there in that regard. So be really, really careful. Offers on manufactured homes. Get a copy of the lease agreement and what are they? Sometimes there's a sizable increase in place for the next owner. So even though they're advertising a certain monthly pad rent, it could be something much greater than that going forward. Need park approval. Those are just some of the features that I was sort of dealing with this week with a couple of agents in regards to manufactured homes.
I always say, don't just sell one manufactured home, sell the whole park. It's a heck of a lot more lucrative.
Yeah, they're not exactly profitable.
That's right.
Sell the whole park. Nice. Upgrade. Ken and Jane just mentioned, don't forget the direction regarding presentation of offers.
Absolutely. Almost in every, Jane, thank you. I don't know who brought that one up. Jane, is shaking her head. You know, it almost stands to reason that without exception, there's not a scenario I can imagine where that isn't a form you're absolutely getting signed, particularly because, let's just say my practice is to have all offers emailed to me. Because that's my practice, that form actually absolutely has to be signed. So another practice would be to delay offer presentation to a specific day and time. So that's another reason that you would have to have that particular form signed. I'm not doing that particular strategy in this moment, but I can see it might be coming. But regardless, I don't allow the other realtor to be present for presentation. Therefore, direction regarding presentation of offers must be signed. So
for the old historical form, I always had signed because I'm the only one who's going to meet with my clients.
Sure.
I mean, and looking at this modern day form that they put out in the last, I don't know, how long's it been? 6 months, a year? It gives so much more, like you say. It gives you the ability to hold off offers until a certain time and a whole bunch of other direction in that regard. So it's a much more powerful document than it was before.
Yeah, you betcha. Carol, did you have anything you want to add, or are you okay?
No, I think that's great. I agree with the presentation thing and stuff like that. And like I was saying earlier, I showed Terry a second page of the Schedule A that you can actually post regarding what they want and don't want initialed off, put on Paragon, and as long as that's all signed off by the clients, that's fine as well and stuff. Yeah. So, yeah.
And we also realize under the existing rules of cooperation, without a direction of presentation of offers, realtors, buyers, agents have a right to present their offers.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
1000%. One other thing that is important to note. So typically well, not typically, always you seek permission for your sellers to post additional documents on Paragon Documents. So, one thing I did learn, I mean, I've read my listing contract many times over, but there was a new addition to the contract, the multiple listing contract, that has a provision that we are automatically allowed to put the property disclosure statement on Paragon Documents. It's actually embedded in the boilerplate wording of the listing contract itself. I have it on my Schedule A. It's a bit of a redundancy, but nonetheless, redundancy is okay. So that's another document that you wouldn't necessarily need permission to put on there. I'm excited about this PDS course. I know it's a bit of a switching gear here, but I'm excited about it, particularly around the material latent defect and the standards by which disclosure must be met on a seller's side versus an agent's side. They're different standards. We have a common law standard for sellers, and we have statutory counsel.
Oh.
Frozen.
Cliffhanger. Josh is frozen. I want to know if Josh is going to be as excited about this course after he's mobile again. That's the question.
Josh, blink. Blink.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Bath. So yeah, there's a PDS course coming. It's going to be exciting. It's as exciting as a PDS can be. If anybody can make PDS exciting, it's going to be Josh and Sunny. So that's cool.
It'd be nice that course there he is over there on the left now. He's double vision.
Fantastic.
Now just unmute yourself, Josh.
I froze. Darn it.
Wow, you're still frozen in one frame.
Yes, I see that. I've got some interesting hair too. It's darker.
Hey, Josh.
Yes.
In regards to that PDS course.
Yes.
How much help do you find, and that's something maybe you can cover in the course, do we have to coach our clients along to get them to answer those questions correctly?
So that's a great question. The takeaway for me is it's less about coaching, but it's more about just having a real conversation, slowing down on aspects of the form. Some don't require a lot of slowdown. Are you connected to city water? Well, yes. Don't dig in on that one. But when it comes to radon, like I have been skipping over that because typically we don't have radon in this area. But I now know how to explain it. I now understand what it is and what its actual impact on a human is. I didn't really know this before, but now that I can do it, I can explain what that is. We can move forward. But when it comes down to disclosure of latent defects, patent defects, stigmas, I mean, stigmas are a bit rare, but I just ran into one where I'm writing an offer where the seller died in the front yard. My clients are Asian. That's a big deal. Mm-hmm. How did he die in the front yard is one of the questions. But so really what it's doing is it's allowing me to provide more scenarios around the questions that are being asked that typically you would slow down and get make sure that they understand what you're asking them. And it's also more about them understanding that document is a requirement, regardless of what by our board, it has to be signed. It doesn't have to be filled out, but you could strike a line through, but they do have to sign the bottom of it in order for us to get this listing live on MLS. We have to have a signed PDS. So these are things that they need to know. And that latent defects, I mean, it's a document that's meant to represent their truthful answers. So I've never had a client ever hide anything, to be honest with you. I've never experienced the dark side of a seller who is trying to hide a latent defect, but latent defects survive contracts. So there's a lot of interesting information I found fascinating. What's really interesting for me is it's timely. I called Jane yesterday, and Michael, I called you, and I ended up getting my answer. But I recently listed a property. In due course, got the city documents that I believed related to an addition made to a house. I scanned the view of it too quickly, only to realize those were original building plans back to 1974 and had nothing to do with the addition. And the sellers were certain they had permits for this addition. They did not. And we're already in an offer where in multiples. And now I have to present this information. So I learned some fascinating stuff about how to do it properly so that we're in the good. And so, of course, I followed the rules, and here I am. So I'm going to be sharing that in the PDS course we do at the office as well.
Slick. It's going to be, it sounds like it's going to be like a 9-week course. A lot of information.
Could be. Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, I strongly recommend you spend your August vacation with us online. Because Carol's going to be on the calendar teaching a whole lot of contracts, clauses, and information. We've got the Zoom calls. We're going to change this format a bit for the month of August because normally people will be away. So other than the third meeting of the month, third meeting of the month will be, I'm going to call it stats and congrats. So we'll go over the statistics, how we're doing. Every other Wednesday we'll keep doing them, but it will be a command-focused session. So we'll either teach something or get your Q&As and answer your questions. So we will be here just for fun. Don't leave me hanging here by myself, because I will talk to myself and it will be horrible. So, all right. Any needs and wants out there? We got a couple of minutes. I need somebody to sit in for a photo shoot for me. And I want to be more photogenic. How's that? It is what it is.
You could borrow Terry's wig.
Terry's wig. It'll be nice.
I'm on my way into the office, and then I'm going to you, buddy. So buckle up.
Is it a long hair or short hair?
Some random street corner in Coquitlam. Nice.
No, it's Pippi Longstocking braids I'm bringing for Ron.
No. I'd like to say that that's not been done before, but you know.
Ew.
I'm from Nanaimo. I'm from Nanaimo. On that note, thank you all, folks. Make good decisions. Have fun out there. Stay safe.
Okay, bye.
Appreciate y'all. Bye-bye. Can't hang up. Do 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 do.